This video is part 2 of the order to cash audit. For part 1, which contains all sub-processes up to order shipping, please refer to the video linked in the description below. So the next sub-process in the O2C cycle is invoicing. So what is an invoice? It is a document that is issued to the customer which indicates that the sale has been made and the payment is due from the customer. So what all does it include? It includes the customer's name, address, then the details of the product sold, the quantity, the value, the price, and the taxes, if any, and also any other terms and conditions, the payment due date, the invoice number, and so on. So why is this so important? Now imagine a company has sold goods worth rupees 10 lakh, but it ended up billing the customer only for 1 lakh because someone accidentally missed putting a zero. So what will that result in? It will result in underbilling. It will result in loss of revenue, loss of collections. So that is why it is very important to have controls to mitigate such risks in the invoicing process. So some of the key risks in the invoice processing are underbilling or overbilling the customers, billing the wrong customers, missing tax information which can result in compliance issues, issuing duplicate invoices, issuing invoices without actually delivering the goods, or making manual edits to the invoices which can result in a risk of fraud. So as an auditor, you can check whether there is system generated billing, which means that the invoice is automatically generated once the delivery is made, and whether the invoice numbers are also automatically generated by the system to make it tamper proof. Second, you can also look for change logs to identify if there have been any changes to the invoices and whether the changes have been duly approved and are authorized. You can look for tax accuracy, that is, what are the controls to ensure that the taxes incorporated in the invoices are accurate. You can look for segregation of duties because the person who is generating the invoice should not have access to process orders or to collect payments. There should be a clear segregation of duties. You can do analytics to identify if there are any potential duplicate invoices. You can also check if there's a reconciliation between shipping documents and invoices to avoid any mismatches. Now moving on to the next sub-process, which is accounts receivable. So what do you mean by this? So like we saw in invoicing, you will bill the customer for the amount due. Say you have a customer who owes you 10 lakh rupees. So now this 10 lakh rupees is not yet cash. It is just receivable, which means that you are yet to receive this amount, and that is why it is called an accounts receivable. So here are some key risks in the accounts receivable process. Payments being received but not being applied correctly to the invoices. Payments not being received timely because of lack of adequate follow-up mechanism. Unauthorized write-offs to hide any frauds or any errors. So what can you check as an auditor? Firstly, is there an automated reminder system that notifies the customers to make payments on time? Second, whether the management prepares an aged debtor analysis. So typically companies prepare this aging wherein they classify the aged customers into due or beyond 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days, and so on. So you can look at whether this is being done periodically and what sort of action is being taken by the management on the basis of this report. Next, you can check whether there's a defined bad debts provisioning write-off policy so that only the authorized person can pass write-off entries based on the guidelines mentioned in the policy. Fourth, you need to understand how the invoices and the collections are being reconciled, how the payments received are being applied to the invoices. And lastly, you need to reconcile the payment entries with the entries in the bank statements to identify if there are any mismatches. So moving on to the next step, and that is revenue recognition. Now this is very critical and very important because it directly impacts the accuracy of your financial reporting. And that is why this can be a separate video altogether because it requires compliance with accounting standards. However, I'll keep it brief to give you an idea of what can go wrong and why this is important. So the key principle for revenue recognition is that it must be recognized in your books of accounts in the period in which it is earned, and also it should be recognized when the control over the goods and services has been substantially transferred to the customer. Okay, so let's understand this with an example. Now imagine you are an event planner and you need to organize birthday parties for your clients. So a client comes to you and gives you an advance of 30,000 rupees in say February 2025 for an event to be held in June 2025. It's too long, I know, but let's just assume. So what happens? Now, can you recognize the revenue, the amount of 30,000 as revenue in the month of February itself? No, that's not right, because the obligation has not been fulfilled. The obligation will only be fulfilled once the event is successfully organized in the month of June. So what are the risks here? So firstly, premature or early recognition of revenue. Similarly, there could be a delayed recognition of revenue, or you're recognizing revenue even before delivery of the goods or services. So that is why it is important to adhere to the accounting standards when doing revenue recognition. And you need to, as an auditor, check if there are appropriate controls to ensure compliance with the accounting standards, and then verify the accuracy of the revenue recorded in the books of accounts. So now we will cover one of the most overlooked sub-processes in the O2C cycle, and that is sales returns and credit notes. So what is a sales return? It means that a customer has returned the goods back to the company. And why could this happen? It could be because the goods are either expired or damaged or of poor quality, or incorrect quantity has been shipped to the customer. So what is a credit note? It is a document that formally reduces the liability of the customer. For example, initially the customer owed 1 lakh, but we issued a credit note worth 20,000. So now the liability of the customer is reduced to just 80,000 rupees. And this is done on the back of sales returns or any pricing errors or any disputes or discounts given to the customers. So some of the key risks here are fake returns or excessive sales returns, unauthorized, unapproved credit notes, not tying back the returns or credit notes to the invoices, and not reversing the revenue which was originally booked. So what can you check as an auditor? Firstly, look for the reason code for returns. Are those legitimate? Are those valid? And you can do a trend analysis to identify which customer has the maximum returns. Is it excessively from the same customer? Then you need to look into the process for credit note authorization. So the person who records the sales return should not be the same person who approves the credit note. You can also review the credit notes to check whether they contain the invoice reference against which they are being issued, and also look for accounting entries to ensure that the revenue is being reversed after the issuance of credit notes or after processing the sales returns. Another overlooked aspect in O2C cycle is the sales incentive process. So sales incentive is an incentive or commission given to your sales personnel when they meet their targets. So the key risk here is that a salesperson may inflate the sales made by them to benefit from a higher commission, or they may engage in risky or inappropriate sales practices. So as an auditor, you can check what controls are there to validate the accuracy and legitimacy of the sales before processing these incentive payments to the team. And second, whether there's any clawback mechanism which ensures that if there are any sales returns or sales cancellations, then the incentive will also be reversed and will not be issued to the team. So now we will cover the next sub-process, which is the last one, which is rebates granted to customers. So if you found this video useful so far, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That will really help me to continue making more informative content that can benefit you during your audits. So rebates are cashbacks or discounts offered to customers to reward them for their loyalty or performance or their volume of sales. So if the rebate is calculated incorrectly, for example, if excess rebate is granted to a customer, then it can result in loss of revenue. And that is why, as an auditor, it is important for you to first check the terms and conditions for granting the rebate. Second, check whether the rebate is duly approved. Third, validate the accuracy of the rebate by either recalculating or checking the sales data. And lastly, also check the accounting entries passed for accounting of these rebates. So with that, we complete the entire O2C cycle. I'm also planning to continue the series and include how can we audit other processes like say HR, payroll, fixed assets, OPEX, and so on. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you can be updated and be notified of all upcoming videos.